and good morning, my beautiful friends. It's Friday morning, it's super early, and I thought will be a perfect time to record another flower making tutorial. Now, last time we were making those roses, and I also have the bunch of the other petals, but today I wanted to create something different. I wanted to show you how you can create the flowers without any dies. Now for that I've got my foam here, and what I will be using, let me just move this aside. I will need some flower making foam, and I have a couple of the pearls which I may not use for the flower centers. I could also use some stamens. We'll see on the shape of the flowers we will create. And for today I've moved this aside. I've decided that rather than using the gelatos, I will try to color my flowers with the ink. So I will show you that you can do lots of different things. As I've mentioned in the beginning, this is entirely up to you whether you want to use the inks, you want to use some chalks, pastels. You can color with the markers as well. What we will need as well, I've got my iron, which is not plugged yet, but I'll keep it here. So I've got the inks, I've got the foam, I've got the pencil and a piece of the paper. And I would recommend, because we're going to be creating some stencil, to use kind of a stiffer paper, not as, you know, thin as a copy paper. But if you have 250, 300 GSM or a piece of the cardboard as well, that will be working fine. So you need a little piece. I've got a strip left over and a pencil. Now we will need some sort of a tracing tool. For that, I don't know if you can see here I've got this tool with a little bit pointy thing, but if you don't have it, if you don't have any shaping tool with the small ends like that, you can use the old pen. If you've got any pen which is no longer working, so you're not going to be making a trace on your foam, you can then use it to trace it up, or like a white pencil as well. If you've got that should not be a trouble. I'm using the scissors, and there's two of my favorite one to work here. It's this little like a snippets with the from TONIC Studio, which were designed by HOLTZ, and then I've got this FISKARS Easy Action. I will leave you a link down below to all to both of them, so you can check. And of course I need a little bit of the wet wipes to help me color. Now let's start from creating the template. So for that, you can either, well, we presume you don't have a die, so you will need a piece of the paper which is kind of a square, so just to mark yourself. It's easier to work on a square, or you can take a larger piece as well. Please remember one thing, that if you make your petals like that size, once you form them, your flowers are kind of getting smaller, because first and foremost the foam is shrinking a little bit, and then secondly, once you add the dimension, you put your flower up, you curl them up, they lose that size. So don't get stressed that when you draw in the flower you will think, oh, this is way too large for my card. No, if you take a piece like that, this what you will end up with. So it's good and worth to remember that you need this larger piece, because if you know, decide to make flower like that, once you put it together, this will be teeny tiny bit something. Do I have something? Oh, this could be end up as a little teeny tiny flower. Okay, so let's start. Some prefer to start off the you know, drawing a circle. Some prefer to start drawing on the center. Either way, this is no rhyme and reason. All you need to do is just make sure you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, so you've got 5 equal spaces. This is what I would recommend to do. I'll put mine maybe a little bit more harsh line so you could see better. So I'm starting from drawing a little circle, and then I am just allocating 5 lines, more or less equal. So I hope you can see that. And then we just follow with some sort of a free hand drawing petal, and trying to make them nice and as large as possible. oh, I should even make mine larger. So look, I am just enlarging them just like that. They don't have to be super identical, so don't get stressed, because flowers in the nature, each one of them is just looking differently. All you really want to have is something like that. And then what we will do, I will quickly cut this one out. So let's get started. And what I like to do, I like to cut mine up to the circle center. So that's why I've put a little circle, so I won't go past there. And then what you can do, once you hold your scissors, you can move around. You don't have to even follow the line. If you feel that one of the flower is crinkled or it's uneven, you can then change it, but I don't mind. I feel that the more unusual shape they have, it's like everything in the nature, nothing is super same. If you look on the petals, on the real rose or something, they just not identical. Every flower is a little bit different. It has one petal overgrown over the other or something, and this is what is the beauty. This is what makes them look so special. Now what I have here, so I have my first flower, something like that. Okay, you can see here it's a little bit squish on that side, but I don't mind. And then what I will do, I will mark this flower just very, very quickly, not even super precise, and then I will create another petal which will be a little bit smaller. So I'm just tracing inside, and look, I'm not even being super precise. This is just a 1 minute job, and I have this smaller. So it's always good to have two sizes, one larger, one smaller, because I think they just shape your flower nicer if you have two versions of the petals. And just like that, very easy, very simple to do. Anyone can do it, and you can even do it with your kids if you've got the kids maybe like a school age, because my boy is like 4 years old, so he is not maybe you know, big enough to use a scissors and anything. But if you've got a little bit older kids, you can do some flowers with them, and then you can create a lovely floral cards for like Nana or something. This is gonna be a good make. So I've got two templates just within a matter of a second. Now what you can do then, you grab your foam and oh, my pencil just fell off. Okay, now what you do next, you can then trace the petals, and for that, as I've mentioned, you need either pen, which is not working. I think mine is still working, so I'm not gonna be risking to, you know, stain my foam, but any tool, or it could be the bamboo skewer as well. But sometimes if they have very pointy you know, ends, you can then sandpaper it gently, so it's not gonna be, you know, it's not gonna be tearing your material. And then you just place your flower, and very gently, very quick and easy, don't be super precise as well, you just mark yourself the flower. So just like that, something like that. And we've got, I'm not sure if you're gonna see it very well, but this is what I am doing. I am just literally tracing it with this and one thing I can tell you, with the no dye method, you're not folding the materials. Obviously, having the dies, you're folding the material in 4, and you cut 4 petals at once. So this is like way more time efficient. However, if you tracing them with this tool, what you end up with, that you are far more material efficient, because you are, you know, able to position them more tightly on on the foam. And I'll give you example. Here I do have this older piece from the time I was cutting. So as you can see, once I will unfold it, I still got like big gaps where I'm placing my paper. I can actually, you know, get rid of these. So what I'm gonna do, I will make a couple of the larger and couple of the smaller one, and then we're just gonna quickly cut them out, and this way we will have enough of the flowers to create 2 flowers. Now what I recommend to do, my friends, if you do the flowers, never do like 1 flower in one color, 1 flower in another color, because then sometimes it's harder to then end up of, you know, putting a nice floral composition, and you will be feeling that, oh, I wish I had like 1 more to fill up the card. So what I like to do, I always like to prepare my flowers whenever I'm making them. I'm making in this like either sets for 2 or 3 flowers, so I know I have exactly enough for each floral color to put them on a card. So I know that roughly I'm using anywhere between 2 or 3 flowers of the same color on the card. So then I know that once I am doing my my florals, I need to have at least 2 or 3 of the same flower. And this is just something which will help you, and you can store them in a little boxes like with the sets. You can do more, of course, but if you don't have the time, oh, here I can perfectly squeeze the flower here, so that will save me a lot of the space, and I am just saving up on the foam, because it's expensive as well. Buying the crafty materials, it is expensive. So here, I don't know if the camera will pick it up. I hope it will. I've got those flower trays, and as you can see, they just looking ugly, but don't you worry, we're gonna turn them into something pretty. So what I like to do then, I like to cut the piece I'm gonna be playing with here. So it's always easier to cut when you have, like, you know, you don't have the big piece hanging off. And then what I like to do, I like to separate them just like that. This is very easy to do, and I think it's just helping with cutting the flowers. And this is something you can prepare if you've got some couple minutes. You can prepare it, then you can keep them like that, and on the evening when you watch your TV series or something, you can then cut them and you know, have this relaxing time, but then at the same time do a couple of the florals. So just like that, and then I'm gonna cut this one here, and then I have 2 here. Okay, so let's get started. And as you can see, I am just following the line. Sometimes I'm just like, you know, moving my scissors to give them a little bit like a wiggle, so that gives me this nice unusual shape as well. But very easy, very just, you basically just follow the lines of the templates you've created, and don't worry that your petals doesn't look perfect. Yes, the one which you create from the die, they usually a lot more you know, perfect shape, centered, and you know, you've got this identical, almost like identical petal each time. But then if you create the handmade templates and you cut them off the hands, I think your flowers will be looking even more realistic than from the die, because you never know, you know, you can never actually create 2 identical, because every time you're cutting them with the scissors, you will end up cutting them a little teeny tiny bit different. What I would recommend you to do is that if you put your die, your petals, just keep them in the pairs. Keep the small one separately from the large one. So you'll have that thing separated already before you start. This is how I like to work, and I think this is what helps me to then put the flowers together, and I don't have to worry that I'm, you know, putting the wrong layers, because if you put the wrong layers up, then the flower is looking kind of off if you will mix up the larger layer with the smaller one. So that's the only one thing I would recommend to watch. And then look on that. This is basically no time taken, and some of them are really, really like freehand. Everyone is different. You can see here I've got maybe a little bit too pointy bit, and for 2 flowers I'm gonna be using 3 smaller layer and 2 larger one, and I think that should be creating this lovely beautiful floral. And then we have 2 flowers, and we're gonna be creating a couple of the leaves as well. So okay, and I think what I will do, I will edit the video so you don't have to watch me cutting them all, because you already know what is the thing about. And I will see you in a second once I will cut them all together. We're gonna be proceed with the next part. Okay, so we have our flowers cut, and what I will suggest to do is something else to add some additional extra texture to our petals, is we can take the tool and you can literally just mark a few lines just like that on each of the petal, so they will have this nice lovely texture. And this is something you may do, you may not, just something different. I'm just trying to show you that there's so many different things you can do to finish up your flowers, so they will be looking different each time. So what I am doing now, I am just using the point tip of my tool, and this way I am just marking the lines just like that, so I'll have this nice texture. And this will be also something which will add and help you to fold your flowers in a second. I'm not being super precise, this is very like just a loose line, just something extra to add the texture to our petal. And here we go, just a few lines, and I will do that with all of my flowers, small and large, just a few lines, not being precise. They don't have to be super pretty, they don't have to be super, you know, equally spaced. One of them are looking better, one of them are just like mess, but it would not matter, because what we will do, we will color our flowers, then we're gonna be shaping them, and this will just help you to create the crinkled kind of the edge. So here again I am just marking, and what I did, I will show you that in a second, but for the last 2 flowers I actually I didn't cut the opening too much, I only snip here, so I have my flowers petal to be like much wider, so this way they will kind of cover, the last layer will be just nicely, you know, one flower petal going on top of another. So this is what I did. And here, oh, I can hear my boys just waking up, so that's mean it's time for me to speed up a little bit, but my husband is staying home today, so he'll help out to pack my son to the nursery. So that's one thing for me. I could not I have one task less, so I could then focus on creating a little bit more in my craft room. But I still need to hurry up because I'm going to my work later on as well. Now I've got the flowers, and what we will do, I don't know, something nice. Tumble glass. I always like the tumble glass color. I think it's just looking nicely. Summer sky. from the memento. So what I will do, I'm grabbing one wet wipe here, and if you don't use the wet wipe, you can grab a damp cloth as well, but remember that this one will be inked, so you know, it may not comes off. And then I am just adding some color just like that to my petals. And what I like to do, I like to go with the lighter one first, and I'm leaving the inside portion blank, so it's not going to be you know, color. And this way, once you put your flowers, and I'm coloring them on the both sides, this is very important. Please remember that if you're coloring your petals, you have to do them on both sides, because you're gonna be shaping your flowers and they will be visible from both ends. So it's definitely something, you know, to remember, because I did it once. I've just colored my flowers on one side. That was at the beginning when I was just, you know, learning myself and training how to do the flowers. And what I did, I've colored them on the one side, then I've curled them up on my iron, and I will start shaping them. And the flowers I've created, it was beautiful. It was absolutely, I love it. The shape, everything went perfect. But the back side, like on here, when you've got the layers, the back side was uncolored, and that was looking awful. So make sure you do it on the two sides, and it doesn't really take as much time. Now I am putting the ink here just like that, not too much. They don't have to be excessively color. You can leave them white as well, but I just feel that this teeny tiny dash of the color is just something which gives you the extra value as well. And for that, this is why I prefer to work on a light color form. I don't really like to use the dark one, because with the dark one it's much harder to get the depth, because you have kind of one color. Maybe if you do like a very dark color ink on them, this will help to bring a little bit depth. But normally, if you've got the dark color form, it's much harder to color it. It doesn't mean it doesn't look good. It's just something of my own preference, that I do prefer to work with the lighter color one. Although I must tell you that at some point I was creating the card for the Ruby wedding anniversary, and the customer who ordered the card, they asked specifically for the red roses. They wanted to have that rich color wine red roses, and I did them from the red foam, which I had lying for such a long time. If you feel it's too much, just thin it up. This one is quite dark, so I don't want to go too much. Oh yes, so what I will do here, I will just add it, not on all of the petals, but just like in a few places in between. As you can see, I am just adding it just like that. So that will create this nice kind of a interest effect on my petals. And here back again. Okay, just like that. Now right, what we will do, I'm just gonna color them very easily. That's the other pair. Which one? That one was the full one, that one's here, and then the little ones. And I'm just gonna color that just randomly, just like that. Add a little bit extra pop of the blue color. Okay, and then I've got a little bit ink here. And they don't have to be all color, just a little bit on one side, just so you could create some sort of a difference in the layers. Now, okay, and I'm just gonna finish. Oh, hi, good morning, my sunshine.
Mama,
Dzień dobry. Mommy's recording, you know. You can say hi to your camera.
Hi.
Hi. Did you have a good night's sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, thank you. You're helping me get organized. That's really nice.
This where it goes, maybe.
No, it doesn't go here. Only the square one, you know. But I've got more of the square ones like that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, that was a quick interruption for my son. He just woke up. Now, let me just quickly finish that. So what I will do, I will now place them. I've got my heating set on a highest level, but sometimes when you have very delicate, I don't have, oh, I do have different type of this is a almost see-through, and this is from the tonic. This one, it's from the tonic. It's very stretchy, but it's very delicate. And this one you need to treat on a medium setting. But if you have the thicker one, the one I was just using, where's the leftover piece, this one, I don't know if you will see the difference. It's not much difference of the thickness, but this one is far more delicate. So this one is more spongy, condensed. So this one will be working good on a high setting. And what I will do, I will now place my petals and just make sure so they will all look nice, that you put them the same way. I've put the markings, so I will treat my petals with the mark side up, so they will curl toward the center. So I'm just placing it just like that. I'm waiting a couple seconds till the petals start just curling, and once they curl, I am just squishing and rubbing against my hand. And then another one, not too much. I am just scattering all the petals together and squish them and roll them just like that. And this is what I'm gonna do for all of my petals. Okay, and then gather them once they still hot. Once the foam is heated up, it's become a lot more plastic, so it's a lot more like a plastic in a meaning of that it's very much easier to form. And this will also help to preserve the shape, because if you would be curl it up without the heating, this will kind of be more likely to bounce back to the original shape. But because we heated up before curling, we are kind of preserving the shape. So this will help the flower to stay in this nice, with this nice curls on the petals. And again, we're just making sure we work the material just like that. And if you don't like to get your fingers inky, you can always wear the rubber glove. But I just find that it's easier for me to work without the gloves. And then I can always, you know, wash it off. A little bit of the soap. And sometimes the slice of a lemon, it's also helpful to get rid of the color, or like a nail polish removal, or you can just, you know, use a pumice stone and then just rub your finger very gently. That will wash off the color as well. And here I am just rubbing the petals. Just make sure they nice and curl. And I'm keeping them in the sets how I'm planning to use them. So this will help me to, you know, not mix up the sizes. Okay, just like that. And then the last two. gather the petals together, rub them on your hand, work it out. And you can also like twist, you know, you can just make sure you just you know, frottle a little bit those petals just to give them this more realistic look as well. And last one, make sure you don't touch the surface of your iron because you don't want to get you know, burn. So that's one thing to watch out. Okay, I've got all my flowers ready, my petals. And what I will do now, I will start from taking my iron away because it's very easy to get burned if you're not careful enough. And now I'm just gonna quickly get another wipe for my hands. I will just, you know, clean it up a little bit. I will wash that in a second. And now let's start from creating the petals. What we need to do, the next stage, you open them up and you stretch them, and you don't stretch them on the top, you stretch them on the bottom of the floral base, like on the petal base, like not on the top. You want to keep this nice curly curly edge. And then again, and because we create some lines with the tool, I don't know if you will see it, but the ink has kind of a sip through those lines, creating this nice edge on the petals. So this is also extra additional you know, feature to your petals, but you don't have to do it. This is just something extra. Try to experiment, because sometimes changing the combination, like I usually go with the ratio 3 smaller, 2 larger. But if you change it up and add like 2 smaller and 3 larger petals, that will change the look of the flowers. If you do the petal like 1 small, 1 large, every single time you change a thing a little bit. Or like here today, I did those creasing line and they are a little bit colored with the ink inside. This is also something which add that extra interest to our flowers, and this way you can create so many different flowers. You can create flowers with more like a pointy, sharp petals, kind of like poinsettia has. So try to, you know, create a different templates, even if you don't have the dies for it, because you're not always need to, you know, buy everything. The most important thing you need here, you need a foam, you need a hot gun, like a hot glue gun to glue it together, and you need some iron or something just to help you to, you know, shape them. And all these tools, if you don't have the tool like that, use your pencil. If you don't have the ink, use gelatos or chalks or pastels. You can buy those very, very inexpensive pastel sets in any supermarket. So that will be just something for you to try, just to see whether you like it, because that's the problem like I had in the past. I thought in order to start something, I need a full gear. I was waiting years before I start making my first like mixed media project, because I always oh, sorry for my voice. I'll take a sip of the coffee. I thought that I won't be able to do anything nice because I don't have all the texture paste, all this like stencils and waxes and all of that. This is ridiculous. I was just, you know, not giving myself a chance to try to even see, because I thought like, no, I need to buy the full gear before I'll even start. So don't go that road. Don't, you know, follow the same mistake. that you feel like before you will start something, you always have to buy a tons of the tools, you always have to buy everything to be prepared, because you don't even know if you're gonna like it. I did that mistake with the, I've got my glue gun here, it's heating. Now I did that, oh, I've got the cable mixed up with my wow embossing machine. Now I did that mistake with the jewelry making. I'll just tell you the quick story that I thought that I need a full gear for even trying. So I've seen it one time, like I was on a craft fair, and I've seen other crafter creating and selling the like a handmade bracelets and jewelry. And then I was like, oh wow, yeah, this is what I want to do. And I went a full blast. I've bought the whole set. Where is this poking tool? Oh, I can see it. Oh, there you are. And you need something just to, you know, help to create a little dot in the center, so you could thread through your pearl or your stamens or something like that. Anyway, back to the story. I thought like, oh, this is a fabulous, I'm gonna do the bracelets, I'm gonna do like a jewelry, earrings and all of that. So I went crazy on a budget. I've bought the whole sets, like a jewelry, like bracelets, you know, that sorting tray and pearls and strings and everything. And guess what? I don't even enjoy it as much. I mean, I did few. I've put few. I was adding them to my stall when I was on the craft fairs, but I don't even like it as much. I've made a few sets for my mom, for my granny, you know, for myself, but it's not something I would do like as I am enjoying as making the cards, for example. So I've learned it from my own experience. So don't do that. Just try first, and then you will decide whether you want to buy more or not. Now I am offsetting the petals. As you can see here, I add the pearl inside, and I don't even do much close up. Maybe for the first 2 petals, what I will do, I will add a little bit of the glue, and I will kind of shape the petals just to kind of create that little bit of the close-up look, so the flower looks like they just, you know, start blooming. And then I am adding a glue to the bottom base, and I am just offsetting the petals. I'm just making sure that they're just offset, and then I am just, you know, lifting them a little bit. And then the last one, just like that. And then we've got it. And then 3rd layer, just like the same way. And I'm just making sure that I have this nice difference in between the petals. So again, just like that, I am squishing it and then trying to make sure that the glue I am adding is in between those 2 petals. So the one which is coming up, it's just attached there. And you don't have to be super precise with it. You don't have to attach it to all of the petals. And if you feel this one is a little bit too oh no, I've teared it. Be gentle, but I've teared it, and I'm just gonna glue it. I'm gonna glue it, and sometimes you get the petals which are tear in nature, so it's not a biggie. Just all you need to remember is just make a little nice push to the layers, so they kind of fold nicely. And as you can see here, this on its own should be flowers, but I'm gonna add even more layers to it, so that will be more build up. And then again, when I'm adding another layer, I am concentrating so my petals will fill in between the gaps. and then I can add teeny tiny bit of the glue on the bottom, and then just push from the back side. I am just adding my finger on this side and then just pushing on the back side, so the petal is just fall nicely, and just glue up like here. Okay. Okay, and then the last one here. And whenever I am shaping my flowers, like, you know, you add them to the heat and then you curling them up. As more larger layer I go, I'm not sure if I say that, but as next level I'm going, they're gonna be on the bottom. I like to curl up a little bit less, so these ones which are staying on the bottom, they will be less curl up in comparison to the other one. Okay, now I'm just pushing it from the back, and then I am just adding the glue on a very, very bottom bit, so the whole section is unglue. It's just a teeny tiny bit of the glue on the bottom, and voila, our flower without the dies, it's ready. And I think it's just looking absolutely beautiful, and I just love it. It's so much natural, it's uneven, it's crinkled, it's got the beautiful texture to it. So I'm just gonna poke it like here, and then let's quickly create another one. So what I'm doing, I am adding a dash of the glue, I am threading the pearl through, and then just a teeny tiny bit of the glue extra to help the petals to kind of lift around the pearl. So this will be looking kind of as a flower, but it's just start blooming. So just like that, and then just something like that. It doesn't have to be, you can do it like close the pearl inside, but I like those pearls really much, and I think it's just looking nicely if it's just like that. Okay, just curl up a little bit more, and then next layer. And all we have to do is to watch out so the petals will fall in between. Now again, a little bit here, a little bit here, and then okay, just like that. Layer number 3. And if you feel, oh, I've stopped talking. I was wondering in my mind for a second, but if you feel that your petals are not open enough, you can then go back and try to stretch it, but don't be too harsh on them because you don't want to break it like I did. Okay, now make sure that the petals are, and you can kind of, you know, see how the shape you need. And like, for example, I think I'm gonna be happy with this one here, so that will balance and make it a little bit round. Okay, just like that. And then this one here, and then this one a little bit here. Okay, and the last layer. Okay, where's the hole? Ah, there it is. And then there we go. That'll be looking nice here. on the bottom. And just make sure that the petal is falling in between the others. They are nicely offset. I'm just gonna need a little bit more glue. And then this one, the last one. Okay, so that's our beautiful flowers here. Look on that, how beautiful they are. And what I'm gonna do, because I feel like the video is long enough, I will record the next one with the floral arrangement separately. So we're gonna do this one on a follow-up video because I don't want to keep you too long. But this is our flowers for today. And one more thing I forgot to share with you, my friends. This is the card I've created yesterday on my live classes. So I'll give you the link down below, and this was the class on a crafting together with all the brands, if anyone would like to watch it. So thank you so very much. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you had a good time here, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful weekend, my friends. Oh, and don't forget, I've got the Digital Sunday class on the Sunday morning at CRAFTSTASH page as well. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.